So good morning, August 28, 2015. This is CISG114, Section 1. This is the second day of the semester. Let's get started. Good morning. Welcome back to this second class in the semester. This general education course, Web Technology and Light, the first section. Okay, that means you're in Section 1. Today is day number 2. We look at day number 2's information. We got some informations for you and some good resources, but we're not going to walk them through all because of the time limit. Remember, we just have 75 minutes in each class, and I will talk not more than 30 minutes in the first 30 minutes, and then I'll try to give you some resources to think about, and then I engage you in questions and answers. And I will reserve actually the last 10 minutes for your questions, if you have any, so that I can help you directly. Now, just to tell you that, as a last class, we do some video, and the video is accessible through this link. If you click on this link, you will be brought to the YouTube videos where you can watch the class of last day, okay, day number 1. So this is the video for your convenience in watching it, but we're not going to do it today, okay? You do it at home, at your own convenience. Now let's get back to the class for today. So, first of all, I would like to use a few minutes today to open up with the conversations that you are here not just to do spectators for, okay? Remember, as I mentioned last time, learning is a process of doing it, all right, okay? And yes, you are in a very comfortable theater-like classroom, and you're listening with your attention. Very much appreciated. So let's get started with a very important topic that is called active learning. I want you to pay attention to several minutes of this introduction, and then I will try to engage you, okay, in the context of our learning for this week. This is the very first week we say coming to terms with Web 2.0 in our daily living. So, in what way should I expect you to engage in your learning? So let's get started then.
What is active learning?
Okay, that's good.
First, active learning involves teaching techniques that are something other than strict lecture. Second, active learning is not an entire project or assignment, but a much smaller task you give your students. However, a project or assignment can have several active learning pieces within it. Third, in order to consider something active learning, students must be doing something including discovering, processing, and applying information, not just listening to a lecture or reading a PowerPoint. Active learning can take many different forms, and instructors often use different strategies in face-to-face and online classes due to their different approaches to teaching and learning. For example, in a classroom, the instructor might ask each student to turn to their neighbor and discuss a particular topic. In an online course, the same exercise can be accomplished using a discussion thread, document sharing, or instant messaging. The idea is the same, but the approach is different. So what about these examples are considered active learning? In our face-to-face class example, simply having students turn to their neighbor and discuss a topic is active learning. In the online course, having 2 students discuss the same topic via a discussion thread is active learning as well. Research shows that students learn more when they're engaged in active learning. It's important to remember that lecture does have its place in both face-to-face and online environments. However, during active learning, students are involved in much more than just reading or listening, and more emphasis is placed on higher order thinking skills, such as analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Further research has shown that students retain 70% of what they say and write, and they retain 90% of what they do. Compare this with the fact that students retain only 10% of what they read and 20% of what they hear, and you'll start to understand why active learning is so important. Now that we have an understanding of what active learning is and why we should implement it, let's look at some specific examples to give you a clearer picture of what constitutes active learning in practice. Let's take the example of a small group discussion. In a face-to-face setting, you might group students up and ask them to discuss a particular topic. While this alone is active learning, you can add to the exercise by asking each group to present their findings to the class in the form of a standard presentation, a radio or TV commercial, or a comedy skit. Now let's look at a small group discussion in an online course. You can group students into separate discussion threads and have them discuss a particular topic. Again, this alone can be considered active learning, but you can add to the exercise by having students present their findings using various Web 2.0 tools, such as recording a presentation with a PowerPoint or Prezi, submitting a voice thread with audio and a series of images that relate to the topic, or present their topic in story format using Google Maps. As you can see, the possibilities are virtually limitless, so be creative. Both our face-to-face and online active learning examples cover the higher order thinking skills of analysis and synthesis, but what about evaluation? In this example, it would be quite easy to hold a peer review of each presentation. In a face-to-face class, you can simply have students give their opinions on how appropriate each group's observations were and how well they presented the information. This should spur more conversation with the guidance of the instructor. In an online course, peer reviews can be held using a simple discussion thread or a voice thread. So what about these examples are considered active learning? In our face-to-face and online class examples, the small group discussion is active learning, as is the preparation for the presentation itself, and the peer review of the presentation. Each step in the process is itself a distinct active learning strategy. Since students retain more information during active learning, simply stated, active learning equals better learning.
Okay, here we go. You got some idea. But let's do some active learning stuff now. Okay. Let's forget about this at this point. I would like you to spend 1 minute, at least 2 minutes, talking to the one person's neighbor next to you to discover or to remember what you have learned in our first class. Okay? We talk about many things in the first class. I want you to name some of the important things. Okay? And then you talk to your neighbor. At least each pair of you is going to contribute 2 essential pieces of information that you pick it up from our last class. For example, what is the GE course all about? What are you going to learn? How many homeworks do I have to finish? How can I get an A? What is this course all about? So do it now. Turn to your neighbor, talk to one another, get a piece of paper, find something, and in a minute, I'm going to pass the microphone to you here. All right? This is a 5 minutes exercise with 1 to 2 minutes of you talking to one another, and we have 3 minutes left to invite you to share your findings. Okay, active learning in that shape. You can talk in whatever language you talk, but when I pass the microphone to you, please speak in English. All right? 1, at most 2 pieces of information. All right? I'll count the time. When it is 10:10, I'm going to pass the microphone. Okay? 2 minutes. All right? Talk to one another, discover, remember, how can you find more about this course? Okay? You can always come back to this website and find something new. All right? You still have 2 minutes now. Talk. Let's do it. Very good. I've actually set up the discussion thread here. So after you're sharing in class, I expect that those of you who share, come back here, click on this and press reply, and type in your sharing here during your leisure time in class. Okay, time is up. Let's try to see if I could pass the microphone to. Have you heard the music chair? Thank you very much. Could you share at least one or two pieces of information you get from our last class? What have you learned?
Active learning.
Active learning. Okay, thank you very much. That's very precise. Dun, 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 dun. Can you help to share a little bit of your finding as of last class? What?
How to use UN.
Very good. How to use UN Moodle. Okay, can you do something for us?
University life should learn to learn.
University life should learn to learn. Very good. Can you help us to share some of your findings?
2 people to in a pair and 4 to be a team.
Very good. Very good. What about you? Can you share something for us?
You told us how to manage the time.
Manage the time. Very good. Okay, can you help by sharing something of your findings?
You taught us how to use the discussion page when we read it every
That's
morning.
great. That's great. You have to use it again today. You want to share something?
How to discuss it with the alumni online.
Okay, that's very good. Let me pass the microphone to. Have you done this? Okay, I'll give you a chance. Yes? So feel free to say anything.
Log in your Moodle and say hi to everybody.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Can you help? Learn to learn. Thank you. Can you help?
And introduce a little about web technologies.
Web technology, that's right. We are going to study it today. Could you help by sharing something?
We are absent, so we don't know
Okay, so what have you learned today?
about the active learning.
Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, anyone who has not done this? Yes? Thank you.
Yeah, play the song.
Oh, I play a song. Do you remember the name of the song? I didn't sing. I saw you a song, right? Like, okay, could you help? Yes?
We have to submit our homework on time.
Very good, very good. Okay. You have to submit your homework on time. Now, you must have something to tell us. Remember?
How to grade the mark.
How to grade the mark. Oh yes, that's called peer assessment. We're going to get to it. Thank you. Anyone who want to share? You want to say something? Based on your discovery?
You tell us how to use the calendar.
How to use the calendar to keep track of what to submit. Thank you. Now that's very good. Now remember, what you have done here after your sharing, make sure you keep a record here so that we can take a good look at the collections of responses from the whole class. Let's see if you did something here. If not, it's okay. We will wait for you after class or whatever it is. Let's go back to the discussions of today, okay? So, I said a lot of things in the first class. And the most important thing is, this is a general education class. They help you to transition from a taught-to-learn student to a learn-to-learn student. A taught-to-learn student needs the help of a teacher, which is very reasonable. A learn-to-learn student learns how to be his or her own teacher, okay? And then that means what? You need not just to listen to your teacher that I'm talking, you need to do something to learn that. Now what are you going to do today? Here we go. Now this is week number 1. If you need help to learn what we're supposed to do, in this week, the theme is coming to terms with Web 2.0 in our daily living. So we need to understand the importance of Web 2.0. What is Web 2.0? So, in order to help you to understand that, let's go to Learn and Practice, to learning contract number 1. So I highly encourage you that you bring a notebook with you, iPad with you, or at least your phone, smartphone with you, so that you can get to the same link, okay? And when you click on this link, you will be brought to this page, okay? And in this page, you can see that that's the reason why I say there is not an absolute need for you to buy expensive textbook. Everything is already there. I extracted for you, but it is important that you read the textbook because it's available from the library and study the notes provided here. So what are we going to learn in Web 2.0? So we learn the basic. When we click on Web 2.0 here, we got the learning objective, which is provided by the author of the book, okay? Now, we cannot cover all of these, and the reason is I do not need to cover material. I want to help you to understand. Today, we're going to help you understand a little bit more about Web 2.0, okay? In the context of, you know how to describe it. You know some basic features of Web 2.0, and why we say Web 2.0 instead of just simply Web Technology. Indeed, the name of this course is Web Technology at night. It is not called Web 2.0 at night. Well, that is the beginning of the story today. We're going to spend, say, 10 minutes time doing it, because as I promised, I will not speak more than 30 minutes. So how are you going to learn? Remember, you need to do something to learn it. And how are you going to do it? When you get home, come back to this link, study it, okay? So let's get started. Describe Web 2.0 and the features. Let's come to this learning tips. We have a number of objectives. The first objective say, describe Web 2.0 and features. Now I know that the words there are not large enough, but it's okay. Here, you're not going to see any word. I'm here to tell you. These are the learning tips, because my job as a teacher to help you to transition from being a taught-to-learn student to a learn-to-learn student, so you need to understand the following. Well, you need to understand what is meant by Web 2.0. First of all, keep that in mind. It's a kind of web technology. Okay? It's a kind of web technology. Then the next question you need to ask, what is meant by web technology? Web technology is again a type of technology. Okay? But it involves the use of the web. Now the next question you need to ask is, what is a web? A web has another rather relatively formal name called the World Wide Web. You heard about this. 3 W's. Okay? What is a World Wide Web? Well, put it very simple. It's an application. It's a software application which could connect us together across large distance. No matter it's a small distance, large distance. How are we going to be connected? Using some specific applications that could be installed on the web, such as your Facebook. Remember that? Such as your emails, such as your forum discussion software. Examples like this, okay? Such as QQ, all right? So, at this point, what is meant by a Web 2.0? Web 2.0 is basically a web technology on which we can install different kinds of software, useful software applications to achieve some purposeful human activity, such as communications. Do you got that idea? Now, the next question is, then, why do we have the name Web 2.0 instead of simply web technology? Listen, well, if we look at history or the development of technology in this area in the past 20 years, we discovered that the web that we know today started out in 1994 when it was invented by a person called Tim Berners-Lee. That is the originator of our web. In 1994, one very interesting computer scientist, or you could say software developer, with the name Tim Berners-Lee, happens to discover that he created very interesting applications. The interesting applications could help connect people together across different research sites, geographically distributed in a very large area, and he called this the first versions of the web. And it turns out that people find that particular application very useful because it helps us to understand what's happening there and what's happening there and what's happening there. It provides a very interesting ability for people in a particular location to publish their informations so that we do not need always to exchange email to understand what's going on there. It's the beginning of the web. At that time, the web is supposed to be a two-way street for people to communicate. But he has not achieved that purpose in 1994. So the capability of the web at that time is just one side. I can publish information on my side. You can come to my side to read something, but you cannot talk to me directly if you discover something wrong. You still have to write me through email or something like this. The web at that time is what we call very informational. One way, okay? That was the year 1994. Remember that. That is a very important year. 1994. Then the web evolved from 1994 to 2000 when something big happened. Do you remember what happened in the year 2000? Oh, we have the millennium bug. We were afraid that the millennium bug, the software bug, is going to stop the whole world from running, but it did not happen. Instead, people discovered that the web has a lot of potential because it could disseminate information in such a wonderful way that people have never experienced before. And so, businessmen start to think about making business, meaning making profit out of this new type of technology. I can publish my information here, and you can read my information no matter where you are in the world. And so, businessmen think, what if we could publish our products here? And if we can attract people to come to read our website, we're actually doing a lot of advertising of our business. And through that, if we can enhance the kind of interactions they imagine between the potential customers who's going to use our product, which is going to be advertised in our website, then that is a very interesting way to make money. So, everybody rushed to the web to set up companies' website. And some of the company entrepreneurs believed that they could start using the web to make good money by setting up different web-based businesses. And all of a sudden, in the year 2000, a lot of the good things happened. There is a term called venture capitalists. Do you understand what is meant by capitalists? If I would like to earn money, I have to invest in a particular business, in a particular physical location, and then I have to run the business there. Now, the venture capitalist is the kind of capitalist who has a lot of money, who look for business opportunity. And at that time, because they see the web as a potential device to create a new type of business, a lot of the people make proposal to set up their virtual company over the web. And they are willing to spend money there. And then, in 1 or 2 years' time, because too many companies have already set up the website, boasting that they could make a lot of money because of the business idea. But because these are virtual companies, put it much more simply, empty company. They have only ideas. They still do not have any products. If I'm a carrots company, I have cereals to sell. Okay? If I'm a dairy farm, I have milk product to sell. But many such companies, we call it the .com company, are just company with the name, with the idea. They do not have any track records of what kind of product they're going to sell. They just have the idea. And so a lot of companies receive money from the venture capitalists, but without much concrete things produced. What happened? There is a bust, because they cannot have any returns on investment. So a lot of the companies went out of the business, wasted a lot of the money, and the venture capitalists turn off the tap. No more money for this kind of thinking business. We need concrete companies who have good ideas, and the remainings are, ever since the 2000 bust, who are the winners, who are the champions? Have you heard about Amazon, the company that sells books? What is the philosophies of Amazon? I'm going to sell a book to you, but I do not have a physical bookstore. You cannot come into my bookstore to read the books. But when at that time, all the big book companies in the United States, like Barnes and Noble, Fred Davis, they have all the big bookstore, warehouse to hold the books throughout the United States. They don't believe what Amazon can do, but Amazon succeeded, as we can see over the next 15 years until now. Oh, what am I telling you? I'm telling you, Web 2.0 is the term used actually in a concrete conference in the year 2000 when they studied the phenomenon of the burst of the dot-com company, and they project on the concrete performance of company with a particular type of capability that they could survive. And Amazon is one. Besides Amazon, can you think of any other? eBay is another one. Now you have to think about a company like this and the kind of business model behind it. And today, when we try and explain it to you in the context of Web 2.0, it is the kind of web that not only provide one-way information in the first generation of the web back in 1994, and it's actually used effectively starting from the year 2004, 10 years after 1994. Because at that time, many of the companies who experienced these lessons restructured themselves and reproduced themselves in the context of ideas, products, services, but all of these come down to one or two very important features. Now that's why we need to come to features. Web 2.0 represents a new type of web, World Wide Web, in which not just one-way information is produced, but a two-way interactive media. What do you mean by two-way interactive media? It represents the capability of the user to respond to the published information produced by the website's administrator or the owners of the website. It represents the convenience of the user, the reader of a particular site, to write something, to generate content, and post the contents online in the specific website where it is necessary or whenever there is an interest. That's why today, when you go to any website to read something, they do have a feedback box at the end. You can type something in and send your feedback directly to the company, even in the Moodle environment. It's not just one way, it's interaction. That's very important. If I use an example of education to help you understand that, about 100 years ago, a very famous education philosopher in the United States by the name John Dewey, okay? He said, if we, 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, if we today are still going to teach our children using the method of yesterdays, we are going to rob our children of the future. Do you understand the meaning of that? In 1994, if you consider the web as a one-way medium, if in 2004 you're still using a one-way medium to run your business, you're going to rock the future of your business. And because of that, Web 2.0 signifies a very big distinction or advancement from the web of 1994. And very interestingly, in 2004, when the web evolved to incorporate the web 2.0 capability, basically it represents the additions of a number of applications which could come closer to the dreams of the originator of the web, Tim Berners-Lee, in 1994. Okay? Now, today is 2015, another 10 years after 2004. What's going to happen to the web? Well, you can see that. You become much more comfortable with the use of the web as part of our daily living. We go to, instead of using a lot of email, we go to Google a lot, we go to message a lot, we use social interactions website, or we call social networking website like Facebook, to keep in touch with family members, friends, and today we can have mobile devices on top of the web, where we can enjoy the convenience of WhatsApp, WeChat, which carry with it a lot of those interactions, bringing people together. But the ironic things today that we could say that we are often alone together because we're so much concentrated using the devices to communicate with others. We simply ignore the physical presence of our friends and family members. Oh, that is another story. Now, I have to stop here. I've given you a very interesting story already. So up here, read the learning tips and use the learning tips to explore a little bit about the ideas of Web 2.0 and the key terms where you can search for the web tips. Web 2.0, venture capitalists, dot-coms, the dot-com bust. So I've given you a very quick review and lecture on Web 2.0, and that is very important as the beginning story of your learning. Do you get it? Okay? Now, I give you, say, 2 minutes time, talking with you later now, to see if you understand what we have went through, okay? And if you have any questions, you can actually type in the questions in the social discussion forum here, okay? And if you have questions, you can raise your hand. I will come to another important sharing for today when you take home. I want you to become someone who knows a little bit more at the end of each lecture, okay? And you do not need to memorize them by heart. It's part of the living. So talk to your neighbor at this point to see, what is this guy call our teachers telling us just 5 minutes or 10 minutes ago? I don't understand. What do you think? Okay? Talk. You must interact with your friends at this point. If you have questions, raise your hand. Okay? I've given you enough. I cannot go beyond 15 minutes. You will not listen to me. Okay? 2 minutes among yourself. Talk. You are highly encouraged to talk. This is a class you have to talk to your members. All right? Okay. Remember, if you have questions, just need to raise your hand, all right? So I'll talk to the microphone and ask about your concerns. Okay, now you see that I have produced another question for you to think about after today's class, perhaps before the end of this week. Is web technology making your life better? Okay? Now, the interesting thing about this is you can actually read a very interesting article which answer these questions before you could render your thoughts. Here it's on the very interesting Read Write News. Okay, someone have actually posed these questions, and many people have already responded. Okay, these are very important questions. So if you're ready now, and I hope you got some digested idea out of the discussions with your fellow students, let's come back here. This is 2015. Today, although we still use the term Web 2.0, but mostly there's another term called Web 3.0 comes up. And so in a minute, now I'm going to show you an introduction of Web 3.0. Oh! Okay. Yeah, that is good enough. This one is good enough. So let's go for this. 5 minutes.
The internet as we know it today is an astounding success. More than 1.3 billion people are connected to the web across the globe. In 2006, 161 exabytes of information were created or replicated worldwide. IDC estimates an increase of over 6 times this metric by 2010 to 988 exabytes or a zettabyte a year. More generic estimates are that while currently new technical information doubles every 2 years, by 2010 this will be every 72 hours. The development is driven by users as well as by technology. Web 2.0 changed users to creators of content. Platforms like MySpace, seen as a country it would be the 4th largest in the world with 250 million registered users, are going to transform the traditional ways of making business connections, networking, and community building. Whilst the number of users and the amount of content is growing faster and faster, the internet is departing from computers. More than 1 billion users of mobile phones already have the opportunity to access the internet, and this number will grow to 4 billion within the next few years. New technologies are changing the way we use the net. Intelligent devices, clothes, fridges, machines, and factories are connected and interact automatically without direct human involvement. This will revolutionize the consumer market as the internet becomes the fundamental economic instrument. Consumers will depend entirely upon network services, and businesses will depend entirely upon the future internet to provide these services. But since the current internet consists of mostly unstructured data and resources, most of the data and resources are unusable for the average user. Fact is, the internet is broken. We still have not one web, but a vast variety of different, unlinked data that is unable to communicate. That's why future internet will have to change, and change it will.
For the new internet to be usable, you have to be able to delegate tasks to machines. The key problem here is how do we share media across the globe? When my machine on one side of the globe says the term bank, how does a machine on the other side of the globe understand that it means a financial institution and not the side of a river? Unless we integrate semantic technologies into the future internet, it will not be usable.
We are currently rethinking the world on various levels. We are preparing for a web of things. All electronic devices will be active participants in the future internet.
The Internet of Things is a very important part of the future internet. In the Internet of Things, we have a lot of real-world objects like cars and machines and things in the supply chain, which will be monitored directly. The things that we have, they are connected through services to the business systems, to the business operations in order to provide, for example, higher visibility and thereby leading to improvements in business operations, for example, in manufacturing, and we believe that this will significantly shape the the future of the internet.
Content of things and content of people. User-generated content will grow significantly and will be a driving force in future internet. Collaborative business models and social network application tools will make the future internet run with fewer barriers than we face today. Semantic technologies will support these tools. Everything and everybody will be connected. The future internet will also reorganize publicity, privacy, and anonymity, where everybody can understand how much trust can and should be extended to others. Everything, everywhere, always. We must imagine future internet as a service. Mobile, ubiquitous, and pervasive, 24/7 availability will be the norm. To sustain the demands of the future internet, networks must be re-engineered. We need new networks which integrate all kinds of devices and which allow the most auspicious vision of future internet. The Internet of Services will bring an enormous increase in the efficiency of economic processes. Business processes are unified in services that can be used by different groups of people within a company or enterprise or externally via the Internet of Services. Soon, redundantly providing the same information again and again will no longer be necessary. Semantics will provide secure and efficient access to a coordinated set of services that are not location dependent, are interoperable, coherent, consistent, scalable, pervasive, and reliable. These services will be networked together through the future internet.
The digital information revolution is upon us. It will be built around an internet of services, which will depend on an internet mobile as well as an internet of things. Tomorrow, every carton of milk will be on the internet. See you on the net.
The Future Internet is a major European initiative currently supported by means of 70 projects with a combined value of 500 million euros. Our vision of the future internet relies on a global collaborative effort. Visit the website, join the interest group, be part of it. Join us in shaping tomorrow's world today.
Okay, you got some ideas where we have. We just given you the Web 2.0 introductions, which is called a retrospective review, that over the past 10 to 11 years, ever since 2004, the intellect never stopped growing. And today, we can see that the intellect is working hands in hand with our mobile devices to make our life convenient. Well, what do you think? Better? Well, what do you think? Well, one thing that's happening again is the idea of the IoT, the intellect of things. And indeed, our rector, Professor Weijao, is an expert in this area. The intellect of things help us to solve a lot of problems. If we could solve those problems, the neck will be well connected and everything could be well hooked up. But there are implications of priorities. Today, I still remember the stories when the owner of Microsoft, Bill Gates, invited President Wu Jintao, our former president of China, to his own home in, I guess, in Seattle. And it's a very modern, intelligent home of the future. It's a home where you can activate many things through your voice, through a very simple signal before you get home. So after leaving work, when I get into my car, if I want some hot water, I would say to my car, heat water, prepare coffee. And all the devices in the home will start it, just like when you press the button when you get home. Warm the house, prepare water, prepare coffee, or even you can use robots today to prepare your food. Alright? A lot of things like this is going to be well hooked up. And even the clothes we wear, or the watch we put on, the Apple Watch today, could actually measures your biological characteristics, tell you what is your blood pressures, oxygens in your blood, and the number of breathings you do when you walk, when you run, when you become excited, and we can actually test the amount of glucose in your blood, and then kind of cholesterol level testing. A lot of very interesting things, okay, that is happening through the Internet of Things. Now, I would not say anything more just by telling you the direction it's this, Web 3.0. And most of the key technology behind this, as is mentioned by those high-ranked research papers, semantic web, is a web which can understand things. Okay? What do you mean by a web which can understand things? If I happen to have this technology, and if I go to visit Macau sometime, and I want to know which restaurant offers the best steak in town, the internet is going to take my questions and give me a number of very soft and precise answers instead of a bunch of entries which you can find. Okay, so much for this. I let you think about this and hold you responsible for coming back to the discussions. All right? Let's take a look at the clock. We still have 10 minutes left in the second half hour. What do you think so far? I want to engage you another 3 minutes time, talking with your labor to discover what is this guy with 9 hats to know today, how many things have we learned, and then what are some of the questions you want to ask. Okay? Talk. Have you discovered something new after this very short video? Alright? Remember, I'm expecting responses from the social discussion forums, and hopefully you can give some response not immediately after class. Go home during the day, before the end of the week, do something. And you can see that I will give you the reminders of some tasks before the end of the week in order to consolidate the learning. All right? Let's see. Come back here. The second objective. Oh, you're very good. Good students. I'm very respectful of the teachers and you don't want to talk anymore. All right. Look at this. We say that the learning objective in this very first learning contract, because we're 3 weeks of the 4 weeks to handle this. And we have 3 important topics: Web 2.0, blogs, and wikis. And hopefully we can deal with those individual stuff, which are very important tools in Web 2.0 era. But let's go back to the learning objective here. Web 2.0, that's right, Web 2.0 tools and features. What are some of the examples of Web 2.0 tools? If you can name one, that will be good enough. Which device or which tool I'm using so far since class 1 and today, they help keep the whole class of students informed of one another. The discussion forum, yes. The discussion forum, right? You're using the discussion forum to say hello, right? And you're using the discussion forum to tell your sharings of its web technology making your life better. So if you want to name one Web 2.02, that is the discussion forum. What is the characteristic behind the discussion forum? If I share something, my message will be broadcast to all the students in this class. All my classmates will get informed what I share. And then they would respond. And when they respond, the same response will broadcast to the whole class. And people are connected together through the discussion forum. In the past, when we respond, I do not know who's going to respond again, because there is no such way for people to respond, right? That is web. We can barely call it 1.0 era back in 1994. And it's starting in 2004, discussion forum comes into play, where we have the means to keep one another informed. So one example of the Web 2.02 that you learned today and also used in first class is discussion forum. Where can you use the discussion forum? In the Moodle website, we have a number of Web 2.02, and we have installed the discussion forum in many places. For example, on day number 1, we invite you to use the discussion forum under the header block, the housekeeping block called the social forum, to share your good ideas. And many of you succeeded in giving the hello messages. Okay? And today, okay, when we invite you to use the discussion forum, we invite you to use the discussion forum situated in week number 1's block called Topic Online Discussion Forum for week number 1. Next week, you're going to use the social or public online discussion forum of week number 2. So you know how to use them, you know where to use them, at least under the Moodle environment, and you know it's part of the tools categorized under Web 2.0 technology. Okay? Now, before I let you go for another piece of information, ask yourself this question: what is meant by technology? What is meant by technology? Is this a technology? The microphone, is this a technology? Is the watch a technology? Is my eyeglass a technology? Okay, so what is meant by a technology? Have you ever? Yes, yes. This is a very important question. Yes. What do you think? What is meant by technology?
Make your life better.
Okay, something that will make our life better. Very good suggestions. Yes, pass to the lady.
Make us social connected.
Make us socially connected. Okay, so what do you think? What is meant by a technology?
Anything that improves our lives and makes things easier.
Okay, anything that improves our life and make things easier. What do you think? Do you have any objections? What is meant by a technology? Yes, don't worry. Just share what you think. Yes, be courageous to speak out loud. This is this class, okay? We learn together. What do you think? Can you help?
The world become smaller.
Technology makes our world become smart. Very good. Do you have anything to share?
Connect the people together.
Connect the people together. Technology connect the people together. But can you give some descriptions of what is meant by a technology? It is something that makes our life better.
Something that make life people and makes our life better.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let me try to provide a much more challenging question. Today we have police around our city, right? Police are supposed to keep the order, right? And many of the police are well equipped with different type of technology. Examples of the technology used by the police include guns. Are guns making our life better? No. Okay. That's,
Maybe yes.
maybe yes. Very good. You make the point. What do you think? Technology.
What are you asking?
Okay. Examples of the technology used by the police.
Oh, I know, mobile phone.
Mobile phone. Yes. That's very important. And another examples of the technology used by the police. What do they have?
Uniform.
Uniform. What kind of uniform? Iron Man uniform.
The call it.
Oh, the communication device?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Now, I think you have shared a very good picture of what technology is. And most of you are very kind because you believe technologies really makes our life better. Well, I agree. Remember when I was a small kid, when I have to travel to Hong Kong, we need to take the ferry. And the ferry has to travel 3.5 hours in order to go from Macau to Hong Kong. And I can show you some of the pictures of this old Macau ferry later, and actually moving. And then, when I grew a little bit younger, not older, a teenager, I could ride the hydrofoil. The hydrofoil enabled us to go from Macau to Hong Kong in 1 hour and 15 minutes. But sometimes it's rocking, just like rocking the boat, and you go in this way. And so the hydrofoil provides a lot of the seat air back, a lot of people want it. And later on in the 80s, well, the company has a lot more money, they installed a jet foil. The jet foil is bigger than the hydrofoil and reduce the time of travel from 1 hour and 15 minutes to actually 15 minutes when it goes in full speed. But sometimes it goes so fast, it hits all the mud in the Pearl Delta rivers along the Macau Park. They need to slow down a little bit in order to reduce the number of accidents. And so 1 hour will be very safe. And so we keep it 1 hour today to go from Macau to Hong Kong. And then they have helicopters now. Helicopter give you about 20 minutes time to travel. And actually it could reduce, but they would like to give you a better picture of the view because you pay big bucks for it, right? So technology will make our life better. But on the other hand, you know the big boss in Tianjin recently? Yeah, what happened there? Technology. Management technology. Okay? Not really makes our life better if it's not in good hands. Okay, so I just said this much, alright? So what is meant by technology? Well, what I would like to tell you is basically technology is an idea that has been realized with concrete means so that we people could feel the impact of the technology. Ideas that has been realized with concrete means so we people could feel the impact of technology. Could the impact be good? We hope so. Sometimes the impact may not be as desirable. Okay? You are old enough to understand that. And that's why the ladies say, police say, guns. Guns is better. But we're guns kill people. Alright? So we don't want to use them. Alright. So okay, you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Now we still have 15 more minutes. In the 15 more minutes left, let me repeat what we are going to have to learn in this week. Okay? The theme of this week is coming to terms with Web 2.0 in our daily living. And in the past week, I have tried to give you, through this website, what you're going to learn in this course, including giving you the syllabus, the calendar, the details of evaluation. Today, we walked you through some of the learning resources installed on the UMOODLE website every week. And we actually summarize the resources using the free learning contracts idea. Remember, in this course, you have 3 assignments. Each one of these assignments is called learning contract. And so we organize the learning material under each learning contract. Okay? At the end of the free learning contract, you have 4 weeks' time to finish your project. That is called learning portfolio. A learning portfolio is a collection of things you did with the products, with the tracking records of what you did, and you put them together and organize as the learning profile of the semester. Well, this will indicate how and in what way you have learned with what products. And then we've given you very important guidance to come to the study of each week. You will see the links open by this weekend, before class, during class, after class, end of week activity for this week. Okay? And next week I will open the links before the beginning of your classes. Okay? So I expect that you will do a review of this week's material by walking into this blog, okay? And pick up each of the links here, study it, okay? Put some thinking into it, and if you have questions you want to ask me, make sure you know that we have a Dr. Rutz Q&A hotlines for week number 1 here. You can start using it on Saturday because your private links will be set up. And then You have a first middle class questionnaire set up on this weekend, and please complete them. If you have not done it, I will send you a reminder. Okay? And today, if you have time, okay, once you've finished your regular study, go home and watch this news documentary. It's a very important topic for our next week's discussions. Okay, unfortunately, it is in Cantonese, it's not in Mandarin. Okay, so I just give you a preview on this. It's on the impact of technologies in our daily living because they are not in good hands. All right, I'll give you 5 minutes preview.
除咗你自己，仲有人用緊呢部電腦。
我呢一刻就可能係放你錢嘅，但係如果其實控制到你部電腦嘅話，可以做到其他嘅呢個支持。
騙術千變萬化，係咪防不勝防呢？
歡迎收睇新聞透視。上個星期咧，我哋辦公室嘅電話係咁睇，一拎嘅電話咧就會聽到一段電話錄音。
你好，呢個係聯邦快遞公司，你有一封重要快件想你領取，如需查詢請按0。
如果按指示撳人字嘅話咧，對方就會有人接聽㗎啦，但你嘅包裹出咗問題。呢類詐騙電話可能你都曾經收過，香港有人就因為一個電話唔見咗大10萬。到底對方係邊個咧？佢講嘅名地址係真定係假咧？呢一集我哋同騙徒保持通話，繼續追查落去。
我想睇下近期啲新聞啲人啊，同埋打電話嚟啊。最近咧就留低個電話咁樣咧，收唔收過啊？都接到，你接到，都要小心啲喎嚇，而家好受㗎。
Well, this is helping us to come closer to the technologies living around us today. We use mobile phones a lot. We use our computer a lot in the context of going to the web. In the process of doing all of these, if we are not careful enough, okay, if we're not conscious enough, most of the very private informations that only we believe only we know are actually being picked up by different people. And one type of people who love picking up such informations are called hackers. They will make the best use of the informations unique to them to trick you. And this documentary will give you plenty of examples of how technologies, when it is in the wrong hands, could cause a lot of harm, mostly financial harm, hopefully, but sometimes human lives. Okay? So go home, watch this documentary. If you do not know Cantonese, find your Cantonese friends with you. So whenever you cannot understand some of the terms, ask them. But unfortunately, it is in Cantonese. But I have many of the information in English. Okay? Plenty of other documentary, but for this class, systematically I give it to you. Okay, I have to go on to another section of the same course. Okay, so I will say goodbye to you today, and I would love to see you again next week. But allow me to do attendance, all right? Okay, let's do the attendance for today. So, Maria, thank you. Terry, are you here? Okay, not here. Gang, are you here? Gang, thank you. Sophia, not here. Alexa, thank you. And then Rowie, thank you. Annie, thank you. Daryl, thank you. Mingtong, not here. Okay. And then Lisa, not here. Haley, thank you. Lorraine, thank you. Junwei, thank you. Rico, thank you. And then Cody is not here. Kesley, thank you. Bobo, thank you. Sita, thank you. And then Kami, thank you. Sequin, thank you. Lucky, that's it, okay. Rennie, thank you. And then Sean Jean, thank you. And then Man Hin, thank you. Abia, thank you. So, is it all? Let's see. I need to learn how to manage my time well, too. Ji Ho, are you here? Thank you. Pian Yang, thank you. Kelvin, thank you. Tian Rui, thank you. Zitong, thank you. And then is Hui, thank you. Yeah. Hui Renji, thank you. Thank you very much for coming, and I hope you enjoy this class this week. Please be reminded that you're first with a questionnaire to finish, and I will remind you in your Moodle environment where there is something called upcoming events, okay? Upcoming events, latest news, all right? So have a nice day. I need to pack and I need to go to the next class, all right? See you next Monday, okay? So that's it for today's CISG 114 Section 1 on August the 27th, 2015. Until next Monday, stay in tune.